Nerd Reactor, roll out.
So how's it going, Maddie?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah. So, just watching Elevation, your character, I'm like rooting for you. Like, I hope she survives in this. And I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, the relationship you have with Anthony Mackie's character and just this world, I think you bring like just the humanity to it. So I just want to just ask you, like, what did you think, like reading the script? Like, what can I bring to this movie?
Oh, I mean, first of all, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. I try not to think like that because I constantly am thinking like, oh, I'm gonna mess this up, like so if I think like, what can I bring to this movie, or if I go into it with like a big picture view, I I will panic. um but I tried to relate to Katie, which was not hard for me. I think that she has pretty relatable motivations. That she's like a pretty fiercely independent person who desires more for herself than being uh trapped in the safety of this town that they've built for themselves. And I think that that was something that interested me from the beginning.
Yeah, and with the it's all about survival, and I don't know if you did any survival tactics beforehand, or you're like, you know what, we'll wait until we're actually on the set, and I'll feel it there.
No, we actually, because we shot on location, and the mountains we were shooting in, we shot in Colorado, were a really quite high elevation. I forget what it was. George probably knows. If you talk to him, ask him. We had to do altitude training so that we could even breathe up there, let alone run. So it was like, I think a couple weeks before I got to Colorado, I had to train with a trainer. And then when we got there a week before shooting, we had to train with a trainer there running through the mountains every day. Um,
And yeah, was there like anything where you're like when you're there, like you get flashbacks of like a project or movies, or like just feels like I'm in this or that?
uh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Did I? No, I mean, I would go into set like feeling a little bit giddy because it's such a cool thing. I had never been a part of like a straight up action movie before, and it's like an action with a big monster, which I loved the sci-fi element because I grew up watching sci-fi movies. It was like my favorite thing to watch. Um, so I there was like a gratitude for sure, and thinking of like, oh, like little me would love this. So yeah, it wasn't a particular movie that I thought of, but it was just kind of like, this is so cool that I get to do this.
Yeah. I guess for my last question, I just want to ask you, like, because you've been in different types of genres, so I don't know what type of genres you think Katie would be able to handle herself in, whether it's like sci-fi or horror aspect. Like this is, I feel like she'll kick ass here.
In what genre of movie?
Yeah, or just like any of your previous projects where you're like,
Oh, okay.
Katie would, yeah.
Let me see. I think Katie would do well in Malignant. I feel like she would do well in Malignant. I mean, it's a similar thing you're dealing with, not exactly the same, but it is a monster, and I feel like I think she might fare a little bit better than my character in Malignant because she's tougher. My character in Malignant is not.
Yeah, I love the background there. You're like on location of some invasion right now that's
I'm
happening.
on location of a window washer washing outside my hotel room.
Oh, there you go. Wow, yeah, I saw the yeah, look at those wires. Yeah. So elevation, people dying and they have to live up like a certain elevation, and the inspiration behind this, I'm pretty sure you're inspired by invasion, alien invasions or creatures and all that. But I want to hear, yeah, what is it about elevation that you
That
wanted
inspired
to
me.
take away? Yeah.
Oh, well, the takeaway for me is always kind of the theme. And what was interesting to me is the notion that our greatest gift as humans is our rationality, and yet that rationality particularly collectively when we use it together, creates nuclear weapons and climate change and AI and all sorts of things that can threaten us. So that's sort of you got to tell these things as parables, right? And this is a survival story and a creature story, but but then there's got to be the movie has to have something to say, or I'm not interested in doing it.
Yeah. And in this one, Anthony Mackie, he's the lead. And what was it like working with him on this project on something like the creature, the survival thing? Like, what is it that sold it to him? Like, all right, we got this idea. Are you in or are you out?
I mean, he and I have done this is our third film. So at this point, we have a kind of shorthand and there's a lot of trust there. I told him the idea. I said, I want to film it in Colorado and Boulder. He's like, that sounds fun, and that he was gonna do a lot of running and have to be very physical. And so yeah, that's the way that's the way things come together when you know somebody that well. But I had read a script and I thought it was really interesting conceptually. Thought that the theme that it would allow me to explore was really interesting. It would allow me to do. It's my first movie that has just like a ton of action in it, like 3 really big action scenes. And so I like to do things every time that are a little different than what I did last time. So it was sort of perfect. It's very far afield from the banker for both Anthony and me.
Yeah. And was there like a particular like inspiration that just pops into mind that you was like, I want to try to capture this in this movie, like whether it's from like a previous project or like movies or shows?
I am driven less by previous movies or shows or books than from locations. And so I went out on my own to Colorado and I explored stuff and I thought my way into, okay, what if I was in this space and where is it really 8,000 feet in real life? Like, can I find a place that's from real life above 8,000 feet? And then what would it look like below that? And so we found the refuge. There were a couple options. We found that one, liked it the best, found the ski lift, found the mine, and then adapted the story to that. That's my inspiration is trying to be as realistic to as you possibly can be for telling this story with this premise.
All right. So that's all the time I have for you, George. But yeah, I greatly enjoyed the movie and I can't wait for everyone else to check it out.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.